For 11 months, I lived with a girl I almost dated. If I hadn't made a crucial mistake. A few years ago, I met a girl I liked called Sue. A month later, I threw a party at my place and she walked in with her boyfriend. I had to give up. 11 months after that, some crazy coincidences happened and Sue and I became roommates. One day, we were in the living room talking about the past and one of our roommates, who I call Ken, said, "You know Kazura used to like Sue in the past?" And I said, "Yeah, but in that party, you came with your boyfriend," so I backed off. And she said, "I broke up with him a month after the party. You should have said something. We'd probably be together right now. I always thought you were really handsome. Too bad, I'm seeing someone else now." And I smiled, but inside, I was shattered. I watched Sue treating her new boyfriend so well, and I was always thinking it should have been me. One day, while Sue was talking to me and she mentioned him, I waited for a while and I told her I felt sleepy, but that was an excuse. I just wanted to watch anime so I could think of something else, and while I was watching, I saw lessons hidden in the stories that could help me to stop regretting, so I paid attention to them and I applied those tips. I lived with Sue for 11 months, and during that time, I let go of my regrets. Here's how anime taught me to let go. I stopped living in the past. To escape a romance-related pain, which genre of anime did I turn to? A romance anime, and this time, I was watching Oregairu. In the particular episode I was watching, Hikigaya said something that was funny but deep at the same time. He said, "Thinking of the past fills me with so much regrets that I could die, and thinking about the future makes me very anxious. A process of elimination, living in the present is the best time." In that moment, I was like, whoa. That also applies to me. I was regretting the past and I was always thinking about the "what if I ended up dating Sue" scenario that never came. After all, I let this SSR girl get away. I asked myself, what can I do to live in the present more? And then I told myself, the past is gone. I can't change that. So the best thing I can do is to focus on the things I can control. And when I did that, I started to get over my regrets and I enjoyed the present. So if you're regretting something you did in the past, that's not the best move. Instead of doing that, focus on the things you can control and enjoy the present instead. You get over those regrets quicker. One way I focused on the things I could control was learning from my mistakes. I don't think backing off when I saw Sue with her boyfriend was a bad choice. The mistake I made was not getting close to Sue or her friends earlier than I did, so I would have known she was single and I could have made my move. That's probably the only mistake I made. So what I learned from that was to make sure I saw the right moment to make my move and then move. That was what Isagi did in the game against the Japan under-20 squad. When Isagi was struggling to score, he remembered how he lost to Rin and he remembered what he learned from that. That made him stay in the perfect spot to score in the final minutes. The ball came his way and he scored the winner. He learned from his mistakes by focusing on the things he can control. So if you made a mistake in the past, learn from it instead. And when you're in a similar spot in the future, you won't make the same mistakes twice. You turn your past mistakes to a future win. And if you're scared to make a particular choice, then just do it. When Riko met Reg, she said, "This is the right moment. I'm going to enter the abyss to find out what happened to my mom." Her friends tried to discourage her because the abyss was a scary place with terrifying creatures, but she went anyway because she didn't want regrets. So what I learned from that was to just do it, since a lot of regrets, including mine, usually come from "I wish I took that first step," and in my case it was "I wish I was friends with Sue earlier, or at least in a position to get the information I wanted." Maybe being a friend of a friend was also a great choice. Knowing the right time to make your move is kind of useless if you don't move. You will end up with more regrets, so just do it. Trust me, trying is way better than not trying at all. When I started sensing the moment and started making my moves, I was confident, but I was realistic. I moved out of Sue's apartment with Kin and some others, and 10 months after that, I met a girl I called Princess who I was attracted to. I decided to ask her out, but I always knew there was a chance I'd fail, so I focused on the things I could control while I braced myself up for failure. And when the right moment came, I made my move and it worked. I ended up dating Princess. If I was still regretting the Sue saga, I wouldn't have made a move. Izumi also did that too. He was spending a lot of time with Hori, but I thought she didn't like him. Then Toru told Izumi he heard Hori likes him, so Izumi told Hori he was in love with her, but he was ready to be rejected. Hori accepted and they became a couple. So if you learn from your mistakes and you've done what you can, make your move and be confident, but also be realistic. In the case of asking women out, she might not just be attracted to you, and that's okay. The reason you failed was beyond your control, so there's nothing you could have done at that moment, so hold your head high. The last thing I did to avoid regrets was, I didn't do the things I disliked. Maki was mocked because she was a twin and because she had no cursed energy, and even though she was in the Zen clan, she decided to leave the family and become a Jujutsu sorcerer without their backing. When her twin sister Mai asked her, "Why did you leave? We could have had servants and we could have lived an easy life. Why?" Maki said, "I would have hated myself." She left the Zen clan because she didn't like being there. What I learned from that was to leave the places and people who forced me to do the things I don't like, so that I won't do something I regret in the future. So if you do the things you don't like and you make a mistake, you'll end up regretting your decision. You'll tell yourself, "I told you so." Instead of doing that, do the things you feel good doing or the things that you know will help you. You won't regret those decisions. So that's the way anime taught me to let go of my regrets. I lived with Sue for 11 months, and because I let go, I was able to stay with her for that long. And when I left her place, I was able to date Princess and Alex, girls who I've mentioned on this channel in previous videos. So if you follow these tips, you'll be able to let go of your regrets and enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and share this video to anyone who needs it. Also leave a comment if there's something you want to talk about. I'm waiting for them. If you don't want to regret a lot of decisions you take in the future, then you need this video. It's a video about how anime teaches you to take the right decisions, so if you're interested, you can watch it. Don't forget to take care of yourself, drink water, watch anime, and have fun. And I'll see you in the next video. Yane.